This retake style looks incredible from Loud. The aggression coming out from Aspas and Kawanzin. Pushing forwards, making space for one of their team to get on the defuse. The Brazilian retake looks so good. And the crowd are pumped. Loud are one map away from being able to get themselves in a position where they could be our first ever team to lift 2 trophies, and back to back at that.
That's what they're fighting for. And honestly, the attempt from DRX to try and bring it back, it was good. Adjustments were made ever so too late though.
And DRX find themselves in a position where, once again, exactly the same as that lower bracket final against Optic at Champs, they lose a map 13-8, 13-5, and head into the third. That time it went to 5. Could we see the same? It looks almost impossible, but they've done it before.
The crowd battling against DRX is that extra element that maybe they didn't think about, but we'll find out soon enough on the other side of this just how this series will conclude.
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.
I remember being at school and I ain't had no lunch, but I made something out of nothing. Me and my brother saved every little dime we had to keep the lights and the water running, but that's okay. Cause sometimes in life, you gotta make something out of nothing. 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 Sometimes in life, you gotta make something out of nothing. I make something out of nothing. 'Cause sometimes in life, you gotta make something out of nothing. I make something out of nothing. Sometimes in life, you gotta make something out of it. When I was growing up in the hood, no, we ain't had much, but we made something out of nothing. And I remember being at school and I ain't had no lunch, but I made something out of nothing. Me and my brother saved every little dime we had to keep the lights and the water running, but that's okay. Cause sometimes in life, you gotta make something out of nothing. 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 Sometimes in life, you gotta make something out of nothing. I made something out of nothing. 'Cause sometimes in life, you gotta make something out of it.
Welcome back to Sao Paulo, where it was a valiant effort on the back half of the map for DRX, but it just wasn't enough to unseat Loud. We end in a 13-8 scoreline, and look, we've already talked about him all series long, but we've got to do it again because he continues to sit at the top of the leaderboards. It's Aspas on that jet, absolutely fragging out.
I think Mimi put it very succinctly while we were off camera. Aspas might be good at Valorant.
Oh,
I think so.
Potentially. Very possible.
But it's so we got that qualifier of the might still? Yeah,
Right.
okay.
Right. He's working on it. He's working on it. But I think part of what made him look so incredible in this map, beyond how good he always is to begin with, was him and Kawatzidin as a duo. This Sky pick did such a fantastic job of setting Aspas up for these deep plays, for these pushes, with really good flashes.
It's just been incredible. And this is one of the things we were kind of talking about. I mean, Gav just gets some aggressive positioning. The man is playing just so boldly. But he has those flashes to back him up, whereas the side of Buzz does not. We've still seen some solid entering from Buzz, but we've also seen those moments where he's trying to take control of Yellow over on that B side and the attacking side, and then he just gets picked off because there's no escorting utility.
1000%, and that's what I wanted to see out of DRX in this situation. Again, this felt like a must-win map. You put Buzz in a position to deliver for your team, and the guy had no backup. He was kind of trying to do it all on his own, not nearly the same synergy that Aspas had to work with.
And Seth, you brought up a quote earlier that normally this team really likes it. DRX likes it when people pick their competitions into them. And it looked like it was almost that. But I think this Sky added a layer of complexity that made it really hard for them to actually compete with it one-on-one.
And look, we saw DRX picking up some steam on the back half, but you get to this round 21 out of Loud, and they found an incredible way to retake here on the A site.
I mean, it's already, again, so many people taking a ton of damage on the way in, and then they're just able to hold this the whole way throughout. I mean, the Reckoning be damned. You're not going to be too bothered by that. Sonic just holds it down, and they're so distracted by Aspas in the back line that no one is able to go ahead and interrupt this. So it's a bit of an anticlimactic way for this map to conclude, but it's still just so brilliant the way that Loud are approaching these retakes.
Yeah. It's really incredible, and I think it's actually a very direct comparison to what we saw in Pearl, where this Loud team is really good in these post plants of getting that orb down, getting utility to pressure, sticking the spike, while the rest of the team is pushing really, really deep and contesting the players who want to be using utility to shut that down.
I think it was you who said it very quickly. They seem to want to play in this chaos. They want to play in this very scrappy, very aggressive, throw the Reckoning in there, have chaos across the site, and they're thriving in that.
I was about to say, they're playing with so much confidence within that, which just makes them even more scary as an opponent. So here we are, 2-0 is the scoreline. It's going to have to be a reverse sweep for DRX if they want to bring this one back, quite obviously. But here's the thing, Achilleos, there's never been a reverse sweep in Valorant international history.
No, there has not been. But the closest that we have ever had, as Josh was kind of mentioning it right at the bottom side of that map, was DRX versus Optic. They managed to push them to the very brink, taking them all the way to that final game, and then it concluded with a 13-10 scoreline on the last map. So this team is the closest to be able to pull it off, but given the way that Loud are playing right now, I don't know if that same reverse sweep magic to be able to even get close to pulling one off is going to be able to come through, because additionally, we're getting ready to see Split, a map that they have not played on the international stage since Zeta bested them and all the way back a very long time ago.
We'll get into the breakdown of Split in just a moment, but Doug, sometimes when it comes to a reverse sweep or just getting yourself back on the horse, it's about resetting your mental. And sometimes going back to mechanics is the best way to do that. Kind of zone out with everything that's going on, all of this chaos. Sets himself between difficult maps.
Yeah, the fundies have to be immaculate. And you know, Dash, you mentioned mental, right? And leading into the end of Icebox, I was really concerned about mental because it looked like they were boomed, right? You saw their player cams, they looked dejected, they looked demoralized, and then they started to put something together. So I do think, to Achilleos' point, they have been the closest to do it, and it is going to take an insane amount of mental to hard reset. There was doubt, in my opinion, that they could do it, but they've given me a sliver of hope with how they closed out that Icebox.
And I did see a little bit more hope in that second half. Map 1, DRX never found a solution. They were never able to adapt. But on the second map, I saw things that were a little bit different from the last time they played Icebox. They were changing up the plant location more. They weren't allowing their spike planter to get spammed as often. The post plants were still great, but it was not enough. And now we head towards Split, and this is a map that is so hard to play Loud on, because you talk about that chaos, Doug, this is where they create it. They play the double duelist comp, and it is so difficult to compete with their pace.
Yeah, and I'm just curious as to what is going to happen here for the side of DRX. What are they going to be bringing out? Do they decide to just go for Buzz solo duelist on the race, something that he doesn't have nearly as much experience on? Or do we see him just stay with the Jet, and is that still going to be enough? He has been finding his footing. His performance there on Icebox, a complete inversion, and even then more so on top of it from what we saw in the first map. He had a good amount of impact, but will we see that if he goes for Raze again? Because you can see the difference there as Aspas is just lounging.
We'll get our answer in just a moment as we dive into the Prime Gaming Agent Select. Again, DRX's first look on Split in this tournament. Doug, we've kind of seen them take two different approaches across the two maps that we've had so far. First, matching the composition of Loud, and then looking to find one little difference in map 2. Neither has netted a win. But what do you want to see out of them here to give them their best shot at it?
I like what I see. I see a double initiator comp. You have Buzz on the Raze. Again, it wasn't Buzz on the Jet that necessarily was the problem. It was the fact that Buzz didn't have any counter, he didn't have any backup. The Cat didn't have any help. Those two initiators should be able to help.
Last time Loud played this map, they start attack versus NRG, and the double duelist comp absolutely bowled them over. It's going to require great coordination from DRX to shut this one down.
Well, there you have it. Can this one go the distance? They got to get it done here in game number 3 if they want to push it all the way to 5. Number 3, send it back. If they want to push it all the way to 5, let's find out as we send it back to your casters. Here's Brendan Sideshow.
The potential close here to the storied history of both. The potential close here to the storied history of both of these have that history behind them, never quite reaching the same height. Have that history behind them, never quite reaching the same heights.
Yeah, I think when you are thinking about DRX, they are one of the most long-standing rosters, if not the longest-standing roster in VCT. That comes with 3 years of expectations on their shoulders. Most long-standing rosters, if not the longest-standing roster, never even made a grand final. That comes with 3 years of expectations on their shoulders. Sweep was the closest to hoist a trophy and take one home for Korea, but they never even made a grand final. The series that Seth was talking about, in the last 12 months, sweep was the closest. That's bonkers. That to Loud, who've made 2 Brazilian super rosters work
into this Loud
and
squad.
have made 3 grand finals in the last 12 months. That's bonkers.
Success just feels baked into this Loud squad. See if this map here split. See if there's going to be that extension of play for DRX or Loud. Going to be sailing relatively uncontested all the way to that grand finals.
And of course, I shouldn't call that 3rd grand finals appearance too early, but it feels like it's on the cards right now.
The way that Loud are playing certainly does. A bit of damage there. That's some loose play. It's not like
massive. First one on the board for them all series long, and it's exactly how you need to start. Loud's team composition is going to be constantly applying pressure to you. And I think RB is going to be is going to be the main focal point for that pressure, in my opinion. You saw Stax just kind of baiting him here in order to get into a really crunchy position where he can wait for the retakers to come through. Holding on against the Jet Raze takes a lot of effort. Taking the pistol is so important.
So DRX are going to start on that right foot. Tension of play back. You can put that potential of a comeback into the air. And
yeah, that's huge.
Mention of it. Expectations obviously on the shoulders of both these teams. Dog's going to get some good
control behind his Viper setup.
Spotting 3, I believe, with that
one. And then force you to peek into them. Yeah, that's huge.
Mako.
It's one of the things that Loud does is take control behind this Viper setup.
Information, but contact play lurking up and strikes them down. But does he know? Does Mako know about Sadak's positioning? Looks the information, but contact play lurking up and strikes them down. Does he know? Does Mako know about Sadak's positioning? Looks through. It's a reactive play. A couple of these ult now onto the DRX side, and making it bring him down with the spike at their feet. Flawless pop flash as well, clears some space for them. So
I feel like DRX in the last couple of maps, I'm including, Split and Icebox here, have actually been much better at shutting down Loud. Really nicely done. I feel like DRX in the last couple of maps, I'm including Split and Icebox here, have actually been much better at shutting down Loud's economy. Here you're going to see, though, that explosion. They finally found their moments to be able to punch back. Trailblazer at A. When Loud get onto the eco rounds, they don't look as dangerous by Sadak. This time, here you're going to see, though, that explosion. Kawanzin is almost always using his Trailblazer at A, and it's often followed by Sadak.
The cross. Throw some uncertainty into the mix for the Boombot. Leading forwards, Fragment Nade drops down, spam inside of it, Aspas. You can't be getting away with that. Orb to smoke
And
the
yet he
cross.
does.
Throw some uncertainty into the mix.
Angle
For the
watch.
some uncertainty into the mix.
Angle
for the
watch for, will there be a
forward,
trade?
Fragment nade drops down,
Just getting
spam
that
inside of it,
pressure.
Aspas. You can't be getting away with that.
Bounds. And yet he does.
And RB's left in a 1v3. They'll take
Angle
a duel
watch
early
for,
against
will there
Aspas
be a
here.
trade, Buzz?
And lose
Just
it.
getting that one pressure in a bounds.
And RB's left in a 1v3. They'll take a duel early against Aspas here and lose it. Loud responding very quickly. And despite the fact that DRX were ready for that hit to go through, their pull nade combo was still late. That's the pace that Aspas and Sadak are going to be playing with here. That's the tempo.
couple बहुत cute है यार.
They're so quick with
उनका
their
ऐसा
bus
जोड़ी
back
ऐसा है ना.
engages, with their dashes, that if you're anchoring a side, you can get overwhelmed very quickly. Caught with utility in your hands,
अच्छे दिखते हैं मतलब.
Sadak are going to be playing with here.
जोड़ी.
And forced to take duels on unfavorable angles. You can see here how Zest and RB were designed to hold on to A. The knife shutting down a lot of the supportive utility. Grabs a ton of info in this round as well. 4 players found.
जोकर भाई आपके कौन से टाइप के दोस्त हैं? अरे क्या पागल वागल है क्या? क्या बोलते हो? लिखिए सोच के सीखो ना.
Look, it's a ramp that's
कैसे दोस्त हैं?
compromised.
भाई हैं यार, दोस्त नहीं हैं, भाई है वो.
Job.
दोस्त नहीं है मेरा.
Beyond Mako here. How does he play this
He's a
one?
brother.
Anti-flash drops down. Taking space
Yeah,
once more.
yeah,
Snake's
flash
going to be
yeah.
causing all sorts of issues, and he chooses to back away. Snakebite though, a ramp that's compromised. Utility traded out, making sure that
Next कौन सा workout
really
block होगा?
capitalize off of that.
Oh,
Instead,
chest
the plays
tricep
made
मारेंगे तो
towards the
bicep
side.
tricep
This is
मारेंगे.
where the fight takes place. Zest has to be the man of the hour. Dodge, duck, weave
आप भी
around
ढूंढ लो.
Stacks,
नहीं, नहीं.
assisting and helping him out. An
committed
absolute
यार.
concrete hold here of the site.
Very nice hold.
क्या बात है, क्या बात
Very
है.
nice hold from
DRX
DRX,
is seven.
working themselves together.
Bro,
And that
bro,
one
bro,
was
DRX is
difficult.
seven, bro.
Loud's
Bro, ये match DRX.
ability to
भाई ये match
explode
closed है
through
बस.
B forces
मैं नहीं चाह रहा कि
DRX
DRX
to
अब one side मारे. मैं चाहता हूँ कि
Even
DRX
though Loud were only
close
taking
है
a ramp,
match.
DRX have to give them
Close है,
respect
please
as if
close
that could
है.
be
ये
a
match
full
close
hit
है.
onto A. And they use the pull and they use the nade early.
अक्षु ने
So when
आपसे
Loud
बात
go
नहीं
for the
करता क्या
re-hit
उसका
into
नहीं
A,
लिया.
there is no pull available. There is
अक्षु
no
का भी
nade
timing सही है ना,
available.
वो भी
They
रात का
just
सीन
have
है.
to
Fast
anchor.
match में खेल जाना रे late time.
They've called rotates though and read that very nicely. Stacks and
बात
rest
तो
of
यार
DRX.
जो मिल जाता
And
है
they
इससे
hold
होते
on.
रहती है.
You're
ज़्यादातर ये
getting
लोग
a
मिलते हैं
glimpse
ऐसा.
into how dangerous Loud's comp can be here. It takes a lot of preparation
क्या बात है.
and very fast reactions.
है ये बर्थडे याद रखूंगा क्योंकि आपने सबसे पहले विश किया. अरे मेरी जान अथर्वा भाई, लव यू ब्रदर.
Loud have still been dangerous in the past.
गाइस अथर्वा भाई को सब हैप्पी बर्थडे विश कर दें. अथर्वा हैप्पी बर्थडे कर दें चैट में. व्हाट इज योर एज? 22.
Snakebite as well. That's laid
Think
down
about
at
to
the
come
feet.
उदयपुर आएंगे मेरी जान.
Mako
सुनील का
cannot
जरूर
see
है.
a bloody thing, but okay, once more Stacks there to bail him out. Bit
मनोज
of
भाई गुड नाइट मेरी
danger.
जान.
The Sheriffs.
But Mako's there like a rock.
Yep, and it's just that constant trading, making sure that they relieve the pressure, making sure that one player backs away, there's someone else to step up.
रेड लेने आ गया स्टैक्स.
More Stacks there to bail him out. Bit
क्या
of
बैकअप दिया है.
danger. It's a point. We didn't really bring up too hard, but in these best of fives,
Bro,
it's a different
feel
element
कर रहे
added.
लोग तो they are feeling man.
Gonna get pushed and
Bro,
pulled
these
and
guys are
tested
feeling.
Absolutely true.
in ways that it hasn't done before.
And Loud have been a team that relies on their attack side split. Because of the way
DRX
that their
is feeling
composition
it.
works, they've been bowling teams over on this half of the map. And I think back to the game against NRG. NRG had a decision to run an operator on their Astra defense that I thought smacked of not
सुपर चैट तो पढ़ो मैम. वेट गेन कितना करोगे? बोनी जैसा है भाई. थैंक यू फॉर 40 मेरी जान. सॉरी मैं मिस कर गया सुपर चैट. मैं वेट गेन करूंगा. अभी मैं 80 हूं. आई विल गो टिल 83 या 85.
RB's not going to be doing that. RB's a very
83 या 85 तक जाऊंगा. उसके
rifle
बाद
heavy player.
85
And
तक
he's
जाऊंगा.
also extremely sensible with how he uses
I
his
guess
utility to help
83 या
his other
85 हाँ ऐसे
teammates.
जाऊंगा. 83 85 जाऊंगा.
He's
फिर
become a very good
2 किलो
side
कट करूंगा.
Despite that not
इसलिए greatest से कुछ
originally
कंटेंट
being
बनाऊंगा. रील्स
his
एंड
MO.
बनाएंगे. जीपी
He's
का मॉल
going
गए
to
अब
get
तक
flashed
बहुत
in
बार
here,
गया.
an aggressive play.
There's no way you can come out with any sort of kills, and indeed Aspas does shut it down.
मैं ट्रेनिंग करके
Just after I'm talking about how safe
RB
RB usually plays. Zest and RB cook up a play like that.
नीट प्रिपरेशन करना पड़ रहा है फ्रीडम के लिए. अरे यार
Seekers was used.
अमित भाई यही जिंदगी का स्ट्रगल है मेरी जान.
I think that makes sense as a mid-round information.
I hope you all the best brother आपके फ्यूचर के
Really
लिए.
early on, before you've got any idea that they could be in B main. And this
Creators
opens the door for
के साथ
Sadak to
कुछ
double
करना.
blast
अरे
back in
बनेंगे.
here with Zelt.
85 नहीं सेंचुरी बनता है. अरे पागल है क्या?
Zest.
भाई 100 किलो का होके क्या करूंगा? पागल वागल हो गया. बॉडी बिल्डर थोड़ी बनना है.
Cancel this one, and there
पागल
we
हो
go,
गया. 25
dog.
किलो का 15 किलो का
Satchel
बल.
right up into heaven, the rocket. Oh, it's
बॉडी
6,
बिल्डर
but it doesn't
सीबम
quite